Saturday the 9th, we're here at Cage Titans. We're doing Cage Titans setup. As you can see, we're halfway done. We just got to get the cage mat in. We're going to get the cage walls up, and, in a little bit, it's going to be fight night, so I'll see you guys later tonight.
This is the calm before the storm. People are filtering in. This building is sold out. It's been one of the craziest years I've ever seen in Cage Titans.
Say goodbye to the women that they swear are gonna be their wives. They'll be gone about in a time, and they don't wanna bother with no friend of mine.
TicketTree 68.
God loves peace.
The party continues. The party's the best. Undefeated in New England. Come get me. This is my house. My house.
They don't make here, I took it from zero to fame, saying I read it from miles. The shit was in love, they got me fucked up. I put you on bus and take you around. A couple of guys inside of the school, I gave them the tools to get it off ground. They say they're the ones when they make the airs, can't look in the mirror. That shit wild. Stand on the stage, I give them the rage, I'm turning them down. Can't keep power, we're doing the streets. We do it for keys, we do it for rights. I'm 52 weeks, this shit ain't for pleasure, I'm coming to tweak. The shit's for it, ain't anything up in hey, yo, we got it, and rapping and writing and rapping and right.
Saturday the 9th, we're here at Cage Titans. We're doing Cage Titans setup. As you can see, we're halfway done. We just got to get the cage mat in. We're going to get the cage walls up, and, in a little bit, it's going to be fight night, so I'll see you guys later tonight.
This is the calm before the storm. People are filtering in. This building is sold out. It's been one of the craziest years I've ever seen in Cage Titans.
Say goodbye to the women that they swear are gonna be their wives. They'll be gone about in a time, and they don't wanna bother with no friend of mine.
TicketTree 68.
American nights.
God loves peace, but God needs blood. We serve it up here.
What's going on? We're here. We got your line in that time.
We made it.
We made it. We're live. We're only about 18 minutes late. Sorry, guys.
I mean, we're back on hiatus at Thanksgiving, Christmas next month. We're meeting in between the holidays.
There we go. There we
Ready
go.
Cage Titans 69, but we've got a whole year to recap, it seems, and a bunch of finishes to go through and brainstorming for the how things are going to pan out for the next month when we get all these categories up as we customarily do at the end of the year.
Yeah, man, it's been a good time off. We came back for the recap show the week after the event, November 9th, and then the holidays, and just kind of, I got to say that we do have an extra long break in between shows. Mm-hmm. So like people are like, what about fights, this, that, and the other thing? It's like typically we do every 8 weeks now. So we had about 13 weeks in between shows with the holidays. So like we're just kind of like us getting back to work now. Like this past Saturday would have been on our normal schedule, a show this past Saturday. And this would be the first day back from a show.
Yeah.
So though we've been away for a month, it's just because we have the holidays. So what's up, Andrew Mack? We won't tell your professor anything. What's going on, Cam Arnold, as well. So it's been a little weird. Like we had this long, like it's usually 8 week show, like clockwork. So it has been a little odd having this extra time off.
It is what it is, though. It's nice. The end of the year. It's like did a lot.
Man, it was a crazy
Did a
year.
lot.
Looking back at as we were kind of going brainstorming on fights, what should be up for categories, like just like remembering some of the fights, and it's like, oh shit, like, oh, that happened this year too. Oh, that happened this year too. Oh, I forgot that knockout. It truly has been a great time. So I will say, though, we are kind of going to talk about the awards tonight. I'm pretty excited to announce a new partnership. We've teamed up with TicketTree. If that actually, the opening video was done by TicketTree. And for the last 2 events, they've been, kind of getting ingrained into the Cage Titans world. And they're a Plymouth company. We're a Plymouth company. They kind of got the idea of starting a ticketing platform based off the concept like kind of we had of Cage Titans, where we saw people doing it, but we thought we could do it better. And that's what's made me start this company in 2010. And they kind of the same thing, like ticket buying, online ticket buying was always a cumbersome process. So it's like 4 or 5 college kids. They came up with this idea to make it better, and they have. So I'm pretty excited to announce that we are teaming up with TicketTree for 2025, and they will be our official ticket provider. So here's a quick little video. What makes me excited about TicketTree as a company is you saw a need in an industry, and that's exactly what Cage Titans was. When I was a fighter, I saw that the experiences weren't great for fighters, and they really weren't great for fans as well. And similar to you guys in the ticket industry, so to be partnering with another Plymouth company, which is near and dear to my heart, being in Plymouth, which is our home for Cage Titans, it just made sense that you saw what we saw. Give the fans a better experience. Just buying the ticket doesn't end there. There's collectibles and merchandise and perks and all the things that you're going to give them this amazing experience. And that's what really excites me. And it just so happens you guys are here in Plymouth, which we love. We love Plymouth, America's hometown. Tickets for Cage Titan 69 are on sale now. So don't wait. These tickets will go fast. 2025, let's go.
Let's go, baby!
So there you go. Tickets are on sale now.
Oh, officially.
Officially on sale. That's
Go
it,
to
man.
TicketTree.us. You can purchase them there. One of the physical ones getting in for some of these matchups that are taking place January 25th. We still got a whole reward ceremony to go through, but
Man.
the fights are brewing.
Yeah.
New Year's coming. Santa's about to make the global tour, and then we're almost ready for Cage Titan 69.
So yeah, we're a tad under 8 weeks right now. So tickets are on sale. I know a lot of people have been hitting us up. Cage Titans, Cage Titans. You already asked me that. Cage Titans 69 tickets are on sale now. I know a lot of people have been in our inbox like, when are tickets coming out? When are tickets coming out? There's the announcement. Tickets are on sale. You can go right online, buy them. CageTitansFC.com. Click the ticket link. Will bring you right to TicketTree. Or as Andy said, you can go to TicketTree.us. Buy the tickets. You'll get them in your inbox. You can print them, wrap them up, do whatever you got to do. Another fun thing about TicketTree, they've been going around, for those who have been part of the last 2 events, they do collectibles. So when you're on the TicketTree ticket buying platform, they do collectibles. So they have, I want to say 4 or 5 camera guys going around getting all kinds of behind the scene and exclusive content. And kind of a cool perk of them is that after a fight happens, like, you go to your account and you'll unlock either like a rare or ultra rare or common artifact, so to speak. I should have them on the show to really explain it, but like an exclusive angle of, say, Carter Whitty's knockout that wasn't broadcast inside Memorial Hall. Like, you would get that kind of like on the idea, I guess, the NFTs. I'm 44 years old. That stuff's above my, below my age bracket. But yeah, they got all kinds of cool things. So I am excited about that. I love it. The kids at Plymouth, they're Plymouth high school graduates. You know, now they're in college and they're launching this. So yeah,
I like it. I like
stoked.
it a lot. I mean, Chris, you need something for under the Christmas tree, visit TicketTree. And
Yeah.
any of the Cage Titans tickets and tokens, NFT non-fungible token, I
I don't
believe
even
that's
know
what
what
it
the
stands
NFT
for.
stands for. I mean,
But yeah,
I remember there was like a bunch of monkeys people were buying.
that's beside my behind my time as well. But that's a Christmas present waiting to happen. So I'm stoked. I think it's I love it.
Aaron Hughes says he wants a contract in under his car. Yeah, listen, man, a lot of people want some contracts under. I'm working on it, Aaron. We'll see what I can do.
Get in contact, he says.
Oh, get in contact. Yeah. So here, listen. There you go. Daniel Keepers already hit me up, asked about fighting you because he saw your comments, Aaron Hughes. So Daniel Keepers did get in contact with me because he said he saw your comment. If that name interests you.
Speaking of Daniel Keepers, how about his fight with Miguel Sevison this year for a Fight of the Year candidate?
Yeah, for sure. Or DM Don Chanis. I got to give Don Chanis a plug. The main event against Tom Pagliarulo. There we go. Tom, sorry. Tom Pags, that's how I know you. Andy's the ring announcer. He's the commentator. He does all the pronunciation stuff. But Tommy Pags, that's what I know you as. So, yeah, man. Daniel Keepers.
Even though I know it takes a second to get
to make sure you get it correct.
Pagliarulo.
So, yeah, Aaron versus Daniel Keepers. That could be a fight, man.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that. That could be a hell of a scrap.
Yeah, for sure. I'm already getting fucking text messages. All right, cool. I got to focus on the show. So here's the deal. You want to text message me after the show. I can't keep up with the comments and throwing them up on screen. I'll do my best there. I can't also reply to text messages. So I'm going to try to do my best to stay focused on the show and talk the awards. I'm going to pull up my little spreadsheet so we have that going, Andy. But yeah, what listen, let me ask you a question while I'm pulling this up so the camera can be on you and you can talk.
No.
Give me something that stands out to you from this year.
I mean, you got to give it hands down to Barrett, Giannetti, and every moment that led up to that fight actually unfolding. That was a near decade-long process. You go back to the original videos of that fight coming to fruition. We all have baby faces, and everybody just aged professionally so well. I was not going that route and saying we all got old. We did, but from what they were able to accomplish in their careers from the time that fight was an idea and all of the loopholes and reasonings why they didn't fight for years. It was a true culminating moment, I think, for the organization when you had two homegrown superstars born and bred at Cage Titans that had their fan bases, had their success, and everybody in that building was glued to that fight. That was the whole card around that. It's a memory that's going to stick forever. No question about it. A tremendous fight as well. And for both of those guys to deliver in a 5-round war, back and forth, momentum shifts, leaving it out all on the line. It was just an incredible moment. That to me is if you got to pin it on a moment for just like as long as I've been involved in Cage Titans, seeing that come to fruition and that really sticks to me.
Yeah, that's a great point because as I sit back and I look at it and I look at the poster that's over here in the corner, for me over the years, 15 years I'm going on now. Fuck, man, I get emotional. Jesus Christ, get emotional just saying that. 15 years, holy fuck, man. Whew, give me a second, but so many cool, memorable things, but usually what happens is you're at an event and something's oh fuck moment, and then you remember it. The Barrett Giannetti thing was it was just so talked about for so fucking long. I was so close to both guys. Never thought, I was just it's never happening. And there's so much shit behind the scenes with that fight. Me, Barrett, Giannetti, Sean Lally, Chris O'Brien, Johnny Cupcakes all did a Vegas trip together to like go and train when I think Giannetti was on The Ultimate Fighter. And it was like for a little bit of time, they put all their hatred aside to do that. And then like the hatred all came flooding back. It was just like so many ups and downs and emotional roller coaster. And for me, why, it might even end up being a top forever moment for me in Cage Titans. Just because when you talk about, like I said, the other moments were like, wow, I remember when that knockout happened. I remember Chris Snyder versus Chris OB and the way that place was going bananas. And that will be a top ever fight for me in momentum. But that happened. There wasn't as much shit. Like there wasn't, that's just like, it happened then and you felt it in the moment. Like the Barrett was 8 years of culmination and then the fight actually delivered. And that's what makes it even better. When you talk about something for 8 years and if either one of those guys starched them in the first round and it was just like a boring fight or they got starched in the first round, it wouldn't have been it. It just was 8 years of build up. Then the fight was a barn burn of, all out war, like 2-2 going into the fifth. So to, I think it was 2-2 going in the fifth. And then bam, that it was just incredible. So, I mean, there is that. So then it's like, how do you fucking top it? But then you just have to go forward. And I think we did that in our second half of the year. It was like, we didn't just kind of rest on our laurels of, all right, we had Barrett and Giannetti. Let's just pack it in for the rest of the year. We came with banger after banger. The pro portions of our cards have really just been going nuts.
It's just that with the amount of monumental fights that we had this year, that's just a testament to how that particular fight stands out to just Cage Titans as an organization as a whole, because we're going to go back eventually and hit on all of the cards and just going back and kind of brainstorming who we want to nominate and like who's eligible, what the categories are going to look like, going over and just remembering all the knockouts that I already forgot happened and the crazy submissions. And there was a bunch of spitballing over the past couple. I mean, we haven't really like touched base, but just in the ether, just kind of everybody's kind of been spitballing around. And the caliber of fights that we had on the top of the bill from start to finish, it was never a decline whatsoever. It's all top tier talent and from different parts of the nation. They're coming in from upstate New York, coming up from Florida. Just it's truly remarkable from where it was when I started, let alone where when you started. So
wait, 7 years?
8, 2016 to now, 8. And I've been around for half the ride at least at this point.
Yeah.
But it's beyond blessed to be a part of it, and just like with all the crazy fights that took place. And the heavyweight champion capping off the year, Mitch Raposo versus
Mitch started off the year.
That was starting off the year, and that was a 5-round war right there. It was just a crazy display, and it just kept exponentially getting bigger and bigger through and through. And Giannetti and Barrett was the historic moment where there was just so much history.
That could be our Bonner versus
a lot of
Griffin.
No, it's not even that. I think Bonner versus Griffin for Cage Titans happened a long time ago. That was I don't even know what that was. That was when Lindell and Ortiz finally happened.
That's
like two
I like
stars
that.
that just didn't really align.
And they finally matched up.
Finally did.
If Ferguson ever got to fight Khabib,
that's what I mean. It was like that. It was the one that just kept getting away. And then when it was signed, it was like, is this really fucking happening? And
I still didn't believe it.
You know all the curveballs that happen, no matter what. You make a fight, signed, sealed, delivered. We've seen it all. We've seen it all. We've literally seen everything. So it's you nail biting down to the wire from when they walk out, and then they're in the cage, and it finally happened. And then the fight was a crazy fight.
Yeah.
So
it is funny when you say you've seen it all. It's like you're like, oh, once they wait, like let's wait till weigh-in day. It's like, no, let's wait till fight day. It's like, no, let's wait till the cage door fucking closes.
Yes.
And like, and I'm just going to go for a second. And then I want to go over each category, and I want to see people in the comments throwing who they think some of the categories. We're going to kind of quickly go through them and just kind of spitball some ideas. But, it's like until they get to weigh-in day, I've had so many fights fall out on weigh-in day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, once they get on the scale,
Day off.
I've had so many fights not happen. When they get to the venue, we know it's cool. No, I've had fights fucking fall out with the guys in the back room. Like, I remember Gilbride was puking one time, and he had to pull out, like, he was 2 fights away. Cleveland McLean against Mitch Raposo, he pulled out like 3 fights away. So it's like, all right, well, wait till they get to the building. Nope. Wait till they're warmed up. No, it's still not safe. Wait till the door closes. Peter Barrett versus Russo Kubachaskili. Fucking totally hacked that name. But Russo, that's what I called him. Barrett walked first, was in the cage as an amateur. Russo walked second, and they found a cold sore on his lip at the cage. Fucking canceled the fight right there as Barrett's in the fucking cage. So when we say we've seen it all, we've seen it all. It's pretty wild, man. It's pretty wild. It's been a great time, man. Valdina, we're proud to have you fighting for us. Honestly, it's just been an amazing year, and it strengthens all the memories that I have with Cage Titans. But enough down memory lane. Well, we're gonna play memory lane, but enough of my memory lane. We're gonna go down memory lane for a little bit. We're gonna go down some of the categories, and we're not gonna go too in depth because we've had some conversations. But we want to let you know what the categories are, and we want to hear from you in the comments who you think some nominees, because I think it's important to get you guys in and let us know. So, I mean, we're going to start right at the big awards. Pro Fighter of the Year, the Devin Carrier Award. One guy that stands out that it's hard for us to remember because, like, we had 6 events, and he did all his damage in the first 3 fights in a row. Was Warhawk. It's like John Piersma made his Cage Titans debut, then fought against Tercel, got the finish, fought what looked like an unstoppable freight train in Everett Dissolay, got the win, got the stoppage, and then took on Jack Congdon and fought for our title and captured our title. It was amazing to see a guy make his Cage Titans debut and then in back-to-back shows headline it after only fighting for Cage Titans for, a short 6 months.
Yeah, there's not too many people have had that astronomical rise to the top as John Warhawk Piersma did. His withering ground and pound style shocked the masses, got him their first professional losses, so a truly monumental year. But a lot of pros went undefeated this year.
Aldina, Hillary Rose, Shanus, Barrett got the title, the big victory.
Yeah, so there's a ton of viable options out there. Hillary Rose had she had a crazy year, 2-0, one big finish, leg kicks. You never see finishes like that. So
got to get back a loss that she had earlier, and
gaining a rematch. You can't deny Peter Barrett winning the title, being up there, and he
Tom Santos.
He did win 2 fights, and I think that's his first career submission as well. So
I think so, which is crazy. He submits the Brazilian in his first submission.
So a lot of fighters had.
And you got guys like just Jack Congdon, 2-1 on the year, but his 2 victories were great. I mean, he beat a Contender Series vet and Kyron Bowen and made it look easy. And Bowen's gone on and won fights since that fight. So it's not like he was a washed up, Contender Series guy who's on the tail end of his career. He was on the Contender Series within the last 2 years. And then after Jack just made it look easy, he's gone on and won other fights, Kyron. To kind of, though Jack made it look easy, that was a super tough fight. And then even in his loss, I mean, against Piersma, dude, he was giving up, 3 times the experience to a beast, and he hung in there, and he showed the world a lot in that show. And even DSAB, yeah. I almost forgot DSAB as well. DSAB 2-0, 2-0-1. He had that draw against Solo Hatley, but beating a UFC veteran.
Yeah.
I mean, how
finishing him too.
And not a UFC veteran that went 0-2 and you never heard from him again. Pena was I think 5-3 in the UFC. So great category there. A lot for us to think about. Again, if we miss somebody, throw them in the comments so we can kind of circle back. Next up, we got our AMI Fighter of the Year. Pretty much a lot of guys went 2-0. We didn't have anybody crack the 3-0. Hard to argue Carter Whitty, man. We're going to be talking about him probably for knockout of the year. But, he came into the year 0-2, gets his first 2 victories, both by like knockout of the year candidates for sure.
Both by holy
shit moments. Ozzie Martin, winning the title, defending the title.
Yeah.
That huge fight with Jaden Curley. That was amazing. Pikachu 2-0. I mean, he was 2-1 on the year, 3 fights in the year, 2 finishes. So a lot of good amateurs.
A lot of competition for the AMI fighter of the year.
What do we got here? Carter Whitty with those KOs should be fighter of the year and KO of the year. Yeah, I mean, dude, it's hard to argue, but I mean, Ozzy had some KO of the year candidates in his 2 fights as well.
And his fight with Jaden Curley was just a fucking madhouse of a fight.
I mean, that's why we want to talk about it. We want to hear from you. Then we'll obviously put the video compilations together once we solidify the nominees and send it out to you. So we'll pause every couple minutes and
we might miss some.
We might miss some. So definitely like DSAB, we weren't mentioning him, but yeah, man, that was a great pickup. Next up, we're going with the big awards. We went over Pro Fight. We went over Pro Fighter and AMI Fighter. Now we're going to go to the Fights of the Year. We're just jumping right into the deep end. Pro Fight of the Year. I mean, what do you got, Andy?
Oh, we already talked about it.
We talked about Miguel Silvestre and Daniel Keepers.
Yeah, that was a great fight.
That was a great fight. Miguel Silvestre and Anthony Pike.
That was a hell of a fight, too. We've already talked about them. Downs in that fight, and they were both wobbly, so I can't speak too crazy. That was, the more I think about it, Jay versus Jay was kind of
that fight was
insane. So I think the history behind Giannetti and Barrett really plays into it here, and it was a crazy, insane fight with tons of momentum shifts. So was Jay Presley and Jay Perrin. There was so many times that both of those guys were out on their feet and hurt, and just so much heart and grit from both of them to take it to the judges' scorecards, and that was an absolute dogfight as well through 5 rounds. So you can't. It's a real.
Dude, it's a tough one.
I'm sitting there as we're talking about it, it's a shoe-in, but no, there's some banger fights right there. Miguel did have a couple of crazy fights, and Jerry Muse and Don.
I was just gonna say we just posted a Family Guy little thing, and that was like Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Those fucking 2 guys just standing, just slanging.
You kind of and you weren't really expecting that fight to go down that way, but then when it did, it just made it all that much better. It was just
so many good fights this year. Makate versus Perrin.
Yeah, that was a great fight too. Makate and Perrin, they were both dicing each other up, and a lot of.
Also, the level of the fights,
like
the level of these fights that we're talking about. You talk about Perrin and Presley, 2 high-level guys. Giannetti and Barrett, 2 UFC vets. Perrin, a UFC vet. Sheamus and Muse, UFC vet. I mean, some high-level guys fighting. Makate, training partner, U.S. main training partner with Cub Swanson. So, some high-level fights. Very difficult category. I think Mikey might say it best. He said maybe moment of the year, because you can't really top the moment of Giannetti and Barrett. But I don't know, man. That's gonna be a tough one. tough one.
Yeah. Hey, that's a good problem to have. I like
Valdina said after being injured, coming back, goes 2-0 against 2 tough fighters. Smythe, yeah, that's that. Good comment for fighter of the year case.
No question.
Because we had 3, 4, 5 guys go 2-0. So at that point, you're splitting hairs getting these nominees in.
Yeah.
But we kind of hammered the pro fight. Speak about anything the pros can do, the Amis can do just as well. And we had some crazy Ami fights. I already saw our little Rhode Island pizza fan throwing it up there. The Noah Scalama fight versus Anthony King. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's definitely a shoe-in for
Holy
at least a
shit.
nomination for Fight of the Year at the Ami level. That was as bloody as it gets. That was...
Dude, that motherfucker ate head kicks. And it was just like, yep, I'm still coming. Like, that is wild. And not only that, I hit up Schlama today about the January show. He's dropping to 45. He looked like he was short, but that kid was
dense. He's built. He
yeah.
trucks head kicks like nothing. Can wrestle. He's got the full deal. And those guys just whatever they ate for breakfast that day, just always eat that for breakfast. That's how you bring it. That's how you bring it. That was
he was eating. He might have been eating whatever Anthony King ate for breakfast. For dinner, he was fucking eating head kicks. That's for sure.
Like, no question. And
he's just eating them.
Eating them, bouncing back. They're both.
That first round, I thought the fight was over. I was like, oh, the fight's over.
Yeah, he flattened him with the head kick at the buzzer, and he just gets up like the Undertaker and comes back and then gets head kicked again in the next round. And that was one of the sickest amateur fights that I've called. That's right up there. Sniger OB, Cam Arnold, Jeff Joy. That was a crazy fight.
One too.
So hats off to both of those gentlemen.
And you know what makes that fight like the other one? We'd be remiss if I don't mention the Jaden Curley versus
we were talking about that earlier. For a title fight too.
That was a title fight. There was a lot of animosity going into that, so there was a lot of emotion going into that fight, and that fight was wild. But
Jaden went into that fight. He looked like a guy who hasn't lost a wrestling match in 8 years.
Yeah.
And then Ozzy was able to weather that and start piecing together the strikes and got the finish.
I remember Jaden as Ozzy's getting like checked out at the station before he gets in the cage, and he's just standing there over him, staring at him. The ref had to like take him away. That was just intensity. What Anthony King and Schlama, those were their debuts. Well, Schlama had a fight with another promotion that there's no video.
Yeah, nobody knew what.
So we didn't know what we were getting, and we got that. We're like, fuck. Ozzy, Jaden. I got a couple on my list. Colin Silva versus Iger Zaltzman. Dalton English versus Omar Guerrero as a couple of other great amateur fights.
Yeah, that was a crazy fight too. Omar and Dizzy Dalton. That was
them Shawn Michaels super kick.
Yeah. And there was just head kicks blasting. That was a sick fight. That was another 3-round war. So yeah, we got some stuff. Yeah, Nick said voting's definitely gonna be crazy. Card of the year. There is a card of the year. We're gonna go down. We're gonna get to that next. Sean Tingley, what he said. Fighter of the year, Pro Warhawk, Aussie Ami. Hard to pick Miguel Valdina. I wouldn't be upset with either of those. Okay, he's trying to give me some nominees for the Fighter of the Year. So yeah, we got some great Ami fights too. Like the pro fights were wild, and the Amis did not. They weren't too far behind. Next up's an interesting category. I forget who won it last year, to be honest with you. I think it might have been Dufort or it might have been Muse. I don't even remember. Maybe Nick can help me out who won it last year. But breakthrough fight of the year, a couple guys we got Warhawk. He really did break through, though he came into Cage Titans at 6-2. Yeah, but he kind of put his name. So like he never fought for Cage Titans, but he really broke through and he got to some big stages after fighting for us.
So that's kind of
definitely fitting the bill. I mean,
Carter Whitty breaking through. He's another guy, 0-2, and he was, I believe he was 0-1 as a Muay Thai fighter too. So like he had no wins in his, and again, he might have had some smoker wins.
He won the Muay Thai fight.
Did he win the Muay Thai fight? But either way, like coming in 0-2 in the year, and all due respect, I don't want a body kick or a fucking head kick from you, Whitty. But all due respect, like no one was expecting much from the 0-2 guy. And then bam, he fucking bodies a guy.
That's exactly what the
back-to-back fights is the break. He broke through.
Yeah, that's what the essence of this award is we're in a rough game. MMA is not for the faint of heart, and you suffer losses, and it's debilitating in this game. But that's a perfect example of what a breakthrough is. You break through those shortcomings, and nobody broke through bigger than Carter Whitty, from my opinion. But exactly like you meant, it could mean a couple different things. Like John Warhawk Piersma really broke through, broke his name onto the scene. He had a prevalent record before, but then when he came and fought for Cage Titans, he broke through and conquered at the top of the division. So that
And
also
went on to
fits
a
the bill.
UFC,
So, like,
UFC show.
So yeah.
And then you talk about Ozzy, we remember Ozzy, but like his last outing, his only outing in 2023 was a loss in the title fight to Brody. Granted, it was the fight of the year, but then he comes in and starts off January, wins the title, then he defends the title. So, he could have went one or two ways off that loss, why he might be a good candidate. He could have went one or two ways off that loss to Brody, and he doubled down. That motivated me more. He started training with Brody, the guys at Nostos, and he came in and put on a hell of a year, and he's making his pro debut in this year, upcoming year. Presto Presley, another guy who had a lot of experience. He comes in and he takes out Mr. Cage Titans himself, Johnny Cupcase, and really kind of solidified himself as a big-time contender in the bantamweight division. Then he has an absolute war with Perrin, another opportunity for a breakthrough guy. So
there's a
couple
bunch of
guys.
different ways you can define what breaking through really means, but there's always enough.
Yeah.
There's always enough for that to be a staple category.
Yeah, so there's one. This is a new category, and when I mentioned it to you, when Nick, actually I give credit to Nick. Nick was kind of the one that kind of pushed for this category. It's called an I'm Back Award. I don't know if I like the name, but I'm fight losing streak. She's back. She's back on a winning streak, back to her winning ways, finishing people, showing that tough Muay Thai. That was a name he threw in there. Jacobo Opito, gone for 4 years, was it? Comes back this year, goes 2-0 at Cage Titans. He's back. Areas after 8 years, reminding everybody at Cage Titans who he is, because be quite honest, he's back. Like some people probably don't remember that he was a 3-time amateur champion at 25, 35, 45. And,
I like this.
And then last but not least, another name that was thrown at me, Jorgen Castro. He hasn't fought for Cage Titans for 10 years.
I like this category.
10 years. And when he fought for Cage Titans 10 years ago, it was at 185. Here he comes back after going to the UFC, Eagle FC, PFL. He's been all over the place. He's back at Cage Titans. He wins the heavyweight title.
I'm back award. I like it.
I'm back. You
I'm
like
back.
that?
It's like James Brown. I'm back. I like it.
All right, I'm back.
I
guess that.
I like it.
So anybody else that's back,
I like it.
it can mean a lot of things. Somebody who's gone from injury for whatever the case may be. So I'm back. We call it the Arnold Schwarzenegger Award. I'll be back. Yeah,
I'll be back.
Yeah.
Nah,
Anyways,
I'm back.
Let's get to some more definitive categories. Hold on, I got to change this battery, but you go over it. Pro KO over the year.
Pro KOs. What do we have? Pro KOs. Taking them off the top of my head right now. Well, Mitch had a big one. Yeah, I know. I'm talking. I'm thinking. Mitch versus Valentin. That was a nasty body shot. That was a pretty sick KO. Everett Desolé against Lorenzo Fitzgerald. That was probably one of the sickest knockouts I've seen at the pro level for sure.
That was a good one.
I'm kind of like blanking. Earthquake knocked out Marty.
That
was quick. That was laser quick. Caught him behind the ear.
Congdon.
Ed Congdon knocked out Sam Watford.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Don't forget.
Jorgen did win by TKO. He dropped Marsh and then followed up with a barrage of punches on the ground.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think, what other
pro KOs?
KOs.
I mean, Mitch. It'd be hard to argue that Mitch KO.
Yeah, that was sick. The body shot to the head kick.
It was kind of light on the KOs this year.
A little bit. I feel like last year we had so many pro KOs that we had to whittle it down to here.
Last year we had the liver kick from Barrett.
You got last year
Sangram.
The switch kick from
JoJo.
those two finishes probably set up their fight later in the year, and then.
But yeah, this year I'm not. There wasn't in the pro ranks at least, but don't worry, the amateurs more than made up for it. The pro ranks, there wasn't that flatline KO like in years past.
Everett does land a pretty vicious knockout.
Yeah. And then Mitch. But yeah, if I'm missing any, definitely let us know. What else we got? Yeah, the Aussie keepers.
Oh, Aaron was the breakthrough. I thought I remembered that.
Aaron Chassell. Yeah. Here we go. The fun category, the Amy KO. This could be the big one this year. This is gonna be tough.
We were talking about Carter Whitty earlier. He's got two.
He's got two nominees for sure. I mean, and I thought about it. I was throwing this idea at Andy. I was like, do we just combine it and say Carter Whitty KOs so he's not splitting the vote? Because honestly, we could just call this the damn Carter Whitty Award this year. But I mean, then me and Andy started, shooting the shit about these fights. It's
can't forget about Jay Caskey.
Caskey and Kennedy.
That was a sick walk-off
He just
KO.
boom. And I remember Kennedy.
Right down the pipe. That was a sick one.
Steve Hill. Flatline. Gavin O'Connell.
That was vicious too. Steve Hill. Man, that kid hits hard. There was some other good ones too.
Yeah.
It was some really
we were arguing going back and forth, like who to take out of this category. And try it was tough to kind of come up with some of these ones, but I mean, the one on the tip of everybody's tongue is Whitty's.
Yeah.
How do you? But here you go. Split the baby there, or whatever. Not split the baby, but like split it.
Splitting hairs.
Splitting hairs. Like what do you? The body shot, the switch kick, head kick.
Talking about body shots. Ozzie Martin versus Jay Curley.
Dude,
that was a sick setup to that finish. We dug him with the
body.
And
then him walking away, rubbing his belly.
Yeah,
that was badass.
Those are some serious KO of the year nominees for the Amy ranks. Like Carter had a great year, but that Jay Caskey knockout was brutal.
Bam. And I remember Kennedy just Kennedy just looking up, like he was just flat on his back.
It's the walk-off.
I don't know what his name is, Jay Keeve. Everybody thought, dude, that was scary. That was scary though. Carter Whitty's fucking knockout.
Yeah.
And then go back and slow-mo it and watch him break his ankle. He broke his jaw. He fucking. Shout out to Dalton English though. He was already in the gym. I think
he was hitting bags with crutches. Kid's a madman.
Wild. But yeah, man, Amy KO of the year is going to definitely be the fun one this year. Next up, we got the pro submission. I heard somebody say it earlier.
Another fun one too.
It definitely was tough.
I went back and watched when we were starting brainstorming. There was some slick submissions this year.
Sorry, my mom texted me and said I'm not 44 yet. Yes, I'm 43. Hi, Mom. Thanks because I said earlier on the show I'm 44. She felt the need to text me and tell me that I'm 43 still. Thanks, Mom. Thanks for watching. Valdina's dad watches, is in the comments, and he's always laughing. So Andrew, I'm right there with you. I got my annoying mom. You call him your annoying dad.
So
I got my annoying mom who watches the show.
To remind you your age.
Thanks, Ma. I know. I'm rounding up a little bit. Oh man.
How do you not love her? Oh my God.
So, Kyle Hill versus Earthquake. That standing, fall back, rear naked choke.
That was up there. Yeah.
Tariq, whatever you call it.
Tarico Plata. Yeah. Jacobus Tarico Plata. There's no question that's going to be getting up there.
But that ninja choke of Giannetti, he
slapped
him done. And that was against a black belt.
Yes.
Jacob Bone. That was.
This one's a stiff competition one too. Gilbride.
The flying triangle, flying with arm triangle, switch to the arm bar against Bugs.
And then getting that win back. So that was a sick submission right there.
Yeah.
And then what was another big one?
Oh, D-Sab's reverse triangle.
Inverted triangle. Yeah, that was the other one.
Against a UFC vet, another high level guy.
Yep. And that one you never see that one get finished. And D-Sab did it.
Dude, you guys are
kid makes it work.
Sorry, Ann. I'm only joking with you guys. I'm surprised my mom hasn't commented either. Anywho, yeah, man, dude, the ninja choke, that was definitely insane. Andrew Mack. You guys didn't even think that TSAB was going to get that that reverse triangle.
Well,
you guys were like,
like I
he doesn't have it. It's like, oh shit, he tapped.
Yeah, because like you gotta see from the angle, like you don't know when the arm is in or whatnot, but look, those are just notoriously tough to finish anyways. But
Yep.
That's what can't say much when the tap occurs. It worked. It was perfect. So yeah, that's a shoe-in for an arm for me, just because you never see it.
Yeah. And then we got the AM Sub of the Year. If we're missing any pros, again, if we're missing anybody that you think should be nominated, throw it in the comments. We're going to go review this before we kind of come up with the final nominees for the years and then drop the videos. Next up, AMI Submission of the Year. You know, I'm trying to think.
Oh, Ruben Batar with the Anaconda choke.
I was going to say Ruben Batar stands out. Joey Gomez coming from Marandola Martial Arts, pulling off that armbar.
Oh, that's right. That was right. That was out earlier in the year.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
That was a slick one.
Fred Allen Severe
Fair,
submitting Jake Kasky in that title fight. Great submission. Jake Callender had a good rear naked choke on I think was it on Xavier? Who was it?
Cardona. He fought Xavier Cardona.
Which this category got a couple nominees. I'm probably missing some, but again, throw them in the comments. The ones that stick out to me: Johnny Gomes armbar, Batar's Anaconda. Those are a couple that stand out for me. Comeback of the Year, another good category. In years past, we've had this kind of a little bit of a fluid category where it's like either somebody coming back from injury after some time off or somebody coming back in a fight. And sometimes, just to be clear, like some guys think they get a little hurt about it. It's like, it's not necessarily you were 100% losing the fight up until the point. It could have been a big momentum switch where change where like it looked like you could have been going on the losing end and you came back. It's just like, it's a comeback of the year. Jorgen De Castro's one that came right out to mind. I remember in the back room, he was like, I was out cold on my feet for like 10 seconds and I don't even remember the fight. And then he
did get stung really bad.
He woke up and he came back and got the knockout on Marsh himself. And he talked about it post-fight in the interview room and he was just like, dude, I was out. He was in.
And he looked it like, that was like, but so that would constitute a comeback. You get hit and that big momentum shift right there.
Anthony King fucking head kicked to death.
Like that's a comeback.
That's comeback. Like Presto Presley against Cupcakes.
He was down 2 rounds going into that.
And he came up with the finish.
Dropped him in the first and was ahead. And then there was a shift in the second round where Presto Presley was on top of the ground and pound and just kept that pace until he got the finish. And I think he needed the finish. I didn't get a look at the scorecards, but I do remember thinking like, oh, Cupcakes was soundly ahead 2 rounds, but there's no quitting Jay Presley right there because he turned it around at the end and was able to get the finish late. So
and sometimes it's clear, Jorgen told us like he was knocked out on his feet. That's clearly a comeback. Anthony King getting head kicked. We all saw it. Clearly comeback. Sometimes to fill out the categories because we need four nominees. Sometimes it could just be small. Things
because anything happens in a fight, man. There's just sometimes it's like it's never a diminisher of the pride or whatnot. It's
Aaron Hughes, like, Kenny Champion got dropped, taken down, nearly finished with a guillotine.
Hey, that certainly does qualify because that guillotine was tight and he got out of that and was able to get the finish.
Get dropped by strikes too.
Yeah, that was a barn burner for that first round.
See, there you go. Thank you, Aaron.
Yes.
Let's get him nominated.
Yeah.
Let's get him in there. Great. That's what I didn't even think of that.
For sure. Yeah. No, that definitely counts. Get caught in a good submission, and you get out of that, and on death's door and a tight guillotine from Aaron Hughes, who guillotines everybody. So, that's what constitutes a comeback as far as I'm concerned. So,
another spin on it. Mikey says, Hillary Rose coming back and winning the rematch. I mean, year or so removed, but see where you're going with that, Mikey. Not mad at that. Is there a fan of the year category? We have done that in the past. I see Ty Law, Jaylen Brown, Davis Clark, the Valdinas, Rob Pico, I think won it. Big Mikey's won it. We kind of did away with the award, but I mean, I'm not mad. We could always bring in some, fun.
Well, for a while, it was just Big Mike.
It was Big Mikey for a while.
And then Rob
You
Pico.
know what's funny though is obviously the Valdinas they're tied to their son. What stands out to me here is like Davis Clark. He was a fan of Cage Titans, and he just came just because of Cage Titans, which was a really cool thing. Again, it doesn't mean anything to me because I don't really know the guy, but I'll never forget that day. I'm like, why is everybody fucking staring at this kid in the crowd? And everybody's like freaking out about this guy, but I guess he's a big deal. And we found out, we talked to him and he was like, oh, I love Cage Titans. I've been following you guys for years. And that was kind of cool. And same thing with Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown, the first time he came to the Cage Titans because he was there to see Lionel Young. And then 2 events ago, I got hit up by some people and was like, hey, Jaylen had such a good time. Like, he wants to come again. He's in town. Like, is that cool? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Come on down. So that was kind of cool. Somebody else for a new category, a T-shirt of the year award. I remember someone suggesting it last year.
Ooh,
Edgar
I like
Gomez
that.
versus Colin Silver for Amy
That was a
Fight
hell
of the
of a
year.
fight. That was a fun.
I might have
That
to
was a
throw that
crazy
in.
fight.
T-shirt of the year. Okay, that could be something cool. All right, let's get back to the categories. I think we only have 3 left, so we can get this show moving. Debut of the year. This is somebody that makes their Cage Titans debut in a year and makes the most of it. Past nominees and winners were Michael Dufort won it last year. Made his debut in a big way. This year we got some names. Chris McCarthy, somebody mentioned him earlier.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, coming in,
taking out Perrin.
High-profile win in your first fight, flying coast to coast. Yeah, he had a tremendous fight. Jay Presley, obviously, one of the
coming in against Cup. We just talked about his fight with Cupcakes. That was his debut, and taking on such a high-level veteran and the respect that he had too.
Yeah, got to throw in the nod for Kyle Kill Hill because he'd been wanting to fight for a while. His name's been in the hat a bunch, so
yeah,
he finally got that.
And he came out with that standing rear naked choke. I see Andrew Mack, Calvin Dalton for debut of the year. I mean, listen, man, I like that kid. I almost forgot about it. That's why I'm glad you mentioned him because think about it. Like that kid came on Table Titans and like called his shot in his debut. And it was like, dude, if you don't pull this off, you're gonna look like an idiot. But he put himself out there and he fucking delivered, man. That kid delivered. That was a great debut. I hope Nick, you're taking notes for this, man. I know you're in the comments, but make sure you're taking notes. Calvin Dalton, that's a great one. Great job, Andrew Mack. Solo Hatley, Chris McCarthy, Chris Warhawk. I mean, we didn't even have, I mean, you could have John Simone. You could have Warhawk in for Fighter of the Year.
Hey, he
debut of the year. He debuted at the beginning of the year. Man, this is a fun category, so this should be another good one. And yeah, shout out to Chris McCarthy. He did win this past weekend. I think he had to shave his flowing locks to make weight. I saw him with his and I see Mr. Valdina in there. He seconds Dalton. Yeah, man, that was it. I just remember him being on the Table Titans, and I'm like, yo, this kid. I'm not saying I won't. I'll say because I don't know any better. I don't want to say he's running his mouth because that might come off to like he was talking the talk. Actually, that's probably better. He was talking the talk and was like, "You better watch my fight." And dude, he delivered. That was a great fight. So yeah,
great way to earn fans.
Yep, let's go. So crowd silence of the year. This is another fight category that usually it's kind of like the out of towner award. Like amateur fights really don't have odds. Our pro fights now, like in the years past when this award we came up with it, it was like there was no odds on our fights. So it's really hard to say that it was upset. And in the essence of trying to like save feelings and stuff like that back then, we just kind of came up with crowd silencer. So it was more or less like an out-of-stater who's coming to the hometown.
Because the venue has a life.
Yes.
It's where prime MMA organization in one locale.
Yeah.
So everybody's welcome to fight here. You're dealing with the New England crowd.
Yeah.
And this is Titletown. So it's a loyal fan base, no matter who they're supporting. This is the land in the quite literal town of the original fuck you to the British. So like there's a lot of attitude when you're coming and fighting in New England against a New Englander, no matter what. And we're a rowdy bunch. We love our liquor. And if you silence us, that's what the award's for.
Yeah, and I remember like some of the first guys. Like you remember some of the past awards. I think last year, who was it last year? Was it Ross Hilton last year? Pulled it off,
That had to have.
or it was Dufort. I think it was. Might have
Oh
been
yeah, there's no question.
Dufort, like,
Dufort. Yeah, there's no question.
Dufort swept a lot of awards.
Everybody's so Team Giannetti.
Yeah.
And,
But we had some good Canada, like Montreal,
MMA, and then Canada just blew a cold wind, and that was the epitome of what it means to be a crowd silencer. So yeah, that was no doubt last year.
Somebody asked if Aussie would be. Ones. I would say Aussie's not, though he's New Hampshire. Like it's more like for New England guys. Like, you know, it's when you walk in the building and you feel that, like, we all know when it's like you announce one corner and it's a pin drop and then the other side. Like Aussie, like when he fought Curly, you know, he probably had the bigger crowd than Curly. I know from ticket sales, he did. So this is more or less for that. Like when you hear fighting out of the blue corner, and then you hear fighting out of the red corners, ah, like this is more for that.
Yeah, you know, like from like we're Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Yeah,
Mary Rosenbeck's not exactly going to get a pop.
Yeah,
but then you turn around and KK, who's from Hanover, of course, everybody's there to see it. It's right down the street. So that's what it is. It's not so much favorite.
So we talked about him, Chris McCate, you know, coming in and taking out the former champion and Jay Perrin. Mary Rosenbeck taking out KK. KK coming back after a lot of injuries, 3 years away from the cage. This was supposed to be her trail back, and Rosenbeck kind of closed that out. Another great example, Hicksenbaum versus Aaron Hughes. A lot of bad blood and animosity. Aaron Hughes brings a good crowd to short fuse, and Hicksenbaum was able to kind of silence that crowd. One that you loved that when we talked about.
Oh, just like
Becquerel Vivas against Javier Acosta.
That was all. Everybody was there to see Javier Acosta, and Becquerel Vivas has gone like what 0-2.
Yeah, he was 0-2 at Cage
Titans. That one was that. Like it was so loud, and like Acosta, great kid, been training a long time.
Remember, you said he showed up in the snakeskin suit.
He had the suit. He was in really involved in everything, and then Becquerel Vivas from I forget
Diamond
the town
Dogs.
In New York. Yeah, I forget the town in New York, but just outside of Queens or whatnot, he comes in, gets the finish, gets the win, and that silenced the crowd. It's like not an upset. There's no odds on amateur fights, but that's what I mean. Of like,
it was
getting out of stater versus somebody who
sells a lot of tickets.
He sold a ton of tickets, and I think it was his debut.
It was his debut.
So yeah, that's what I mean by.
I remember. I mean, Acosta. He sold a shit ton of tickets. He was asking more all the time, and I forget who else was on that card, so I couldn't even give him more. But yeah, man, Sal Becquerel he just comes in with his like 2-person friends, and like they just drive in the middle of his 2 friends. I should say 2 people. I was trying to like 2 people. I don't even know if they train. Like one's his brother and one's just this random dude. So unassuming. Just show up. They drive in the middle of the night. They get in at like 2 a.m. I usually go say hi to them at the hotel. They're on weight, and just like all business. And back since that fight, he's gone on a good win streak. He won 3 more fights. He just fought for a title in New York. I'm hoping to get him back again soon. But and we're hoping Acosta will be back in 2025. So
yeah, I mean it was a great fight. It fits the bill of what a crowd silencing fight is.
Yeah. So this is a category some people already mentioned some nominees for. Performance of the year. I heard Aaron Hughes already mentioned it in the comments. Mitch Raposo versus Justin Valentin. Just like such a nice, crisp, clean performance, and just kind of showed Mitch was at that next level. And clearly that was the case as he got the call to the UFC after that win.
Yeah, that's like for performance. We kind of like differentiate what between a knockout or a finish. It's just
yes, that is him. That is him, Mikey. Sal Becquerel, he gave himself a haircut in the parking lot in between regular weigh-ins and ceremonial. Mikey like caught him outside, just like shaving the sides of his head and just like cutting his own hair in the parking lot.
All right. Well, I didn't know that, but there we go.
I do remember that because he came back and he had like this weird, like, I don't even know who I could say, like Miguel Torres, if you remember back,
Yeah,
back in the day.
yeah.
Like the weird
Mohawk
mullet.
mullet,
And I'm like, you didn't look like that 5 minutes ago. But yeah, that was him. And yeah, man, Andrew Mac Valentin's no joke, tough fucking dude. And
Yeah.
Mitch just like
that fits the bill for a performance of the year. Another one I got to give a nod to is Hillary versus Katie Perez.
Those
the
leg kicks.
footwork and pitching a shutout to get the leg kick finish.
I don't see that often.
That was just on point, like pitching a shutout. Just being in complete control of the fight. Another one.
Speaking of, just great performances, Motino versus Cupcakes.
That was another one where
going into a fight where Cupcakes already won the first time, and going into that high level fight, Motino just he composed his emotions and he put on a great performance and was able to kind of stifle the opening onslaught of Cupcakes and just bam, come back, great performance. And
everything, the head movement was just on point.
It's so wild. Like at 38 years old, 39, like Johnny's still so fucking quick. He's down. He's like literally sideways on the ground. And it's like how people just don't fucking hit him. Like it's just wild. But, Motino found the mark. Great performance. One that I liked, the performance of Jack Congdon versus Kyron Bowen, because I think that was like, it wasn't knockout. It wasn't. And that's what this category is about. It's like something that's not going to maybe necessarily knockout of the year or submission of the year, or even fight of the year, but it was just like a great performance. And, I remember Jack coming off that loss to Piersmer in the title fight. It's like, all right, where does he go from here? And he's like, give me a tough fight. I don't want to bounce back. And I'm like, oh, okay. I got this Ultimate Fighter, PFL, Bellator veteran, the Contender Series. And he's like, all right, cool, let's go. And he just put on, dude, you would think that Kyron Bowen wasn't a good fighter the way that just Jack handled it. It was a great performance.
Jack definitely was just on point that night, and could do no wrong in that fight after his title fight. And I also, on that note, 170 pounds, Lorenzo Fitzgerald versus Brody McDougal. I had a few friends of mine that came to that fight that were clamoring about that performance right there. Just
stick to a game plan.
From where Lorenzo was at the beginning of the year, short notice, pro debut against Everett Desolé, to then taking some time off and then fighting again by the end of the year, taking on the undefeated kid who's never lost, won the title. And he's like, that's the fight I wanted, to put on a performance like that where he implemented great clinch strikes. The wrestling was on point, and getting all 3 rounds under the belt. That's another one. Where is a prime example for what fits the bill as performance of the year.
Yeah, Carter Whitty saying Valdina versus Smythe was a great performance.
Yeah.
Definitely a super tough opponent, Smythe and Valdina. That a lot of people going into that as the co-main event of the Barrett versus Giannetti card. Valdina, going into it, a lot of people were nervous about how Valdina was going to be able to handle that. And, he handled it with flying colors. Another great performance. Just to get Jay Keeves nominees in there. Fred Allen Seifer against Jay Kasky. Good performance by Fred. Just, came in, handled his business.
Yeah.
I don't think he said 2 words to anybody the whole weekend.
Fred's very, very quiet guy.
Yeah, very quiet guy. And then Ozzy versus Curly. He fully shut down his wrestling. Ozzy takedown defense and sprawls were on point.
Yeah.
So another
There's a bunch for
performances. I mean,
make
some
a
guys.
lot of sense.
So now we get to the fun categories. As Andy says, he dips himself out of these ones. He don't like these ones, but we're going to go over them anyways. Walkout of the year. It's a fun category. We've had it for the last few years. And guess what? We're not just about the punches and kicks at Cage Titans. We're about having fun, and we're about setting the stage, giving you the moment. So I'm touching my drink.
My bad.
Touch your own beers. But where's your microphone, actually?
Right there.
Oh, all right. We're about having a good time, and we're in the entertainment business. Starts from the minute the fights are announced, and walkout of the year has been a fun category. Last year we had Jerry Muse. We had the great walkout by the Party, Lionel's Purge. This year, not to be outdone, we got Jerry Muse with Captain America. Bye. Him and Deadpool. That was a good one. And the fucking crazy thing about it, and like I'm sure no one watching, but like when Jerry was doing these goofy ass walkouts when he was fighting lower tiered guys, it was kind of like, all right, cool. Like he knows he might be fighting a guy on the lower rung, like, and he was very much more skilled than them. So like the fight itself wasn't the challenge, and he was trying to do fun things like Twister and do all kinds of crazy things. He was having fun in there, but he's still doing that against fucking Don Shandas, a UFC vet. He's coming out dancing the bye.
A beer right after weigh-ins. He weighed in and chugged a beer.
He did.
Chugged a beer, not just a beer, a fight night IPA. He chugged it.
Yeah. Jerry Muse doing that. Like, and like, that's my point though. Like, this motherfucker, like, he's walking out in the biggest fight of his career against a UFC vet, and he's having fun doing shit like that. And it just stood out to me. Colin Silva, I guess Many Men. He came out to Many Men with American flag. Nick had that one, and this is Nick's category. So Nick had Colin Silva's Many Men. I think it was like he had a Trump hat on and a flag and all that. Everett D. Soleil and his corner dog. He walked out with his dog.
Can't beat that.
I didn't even know that we gave permission for that, because that question has come up before and we actually nixed it. But maybe Everett D. Soleil is just probably somebody that's like, I'm just doing it and not asking permission. But yeah, we said that we wouldn't do that. So for somebody else, it happened, and it wasn't a problem. Because again, I think it actually happened on table times. I got asked, and I'm like, sure, no problem. I'm like, yeah, cool. But you can bring your dog out. And then I got a bunch of slack from people, and they're like, dude, you don't know how that dog's going to react to 2,000 people screaming. And like, if they're in that environment, like, you don't know what's going to happen if they're sitting cage side and their fucking owner's getting in a fight. Like, there's a lot of things that like people were like, it's probably not the best. And I'm like, listen, I don't know the fucking person's dog. If they think the dog's okay, I'm going to assume they know it better. But either way, we didn't do it. Everett finally did it. And I did get some slack from KK, actually, was the person who asked about her dog. She's like, you let him do it, but you didn't let me. I did not let anybody do it. He just did it. But it's there. It's listed. And then another fun one. And I don't think that either one of their walkout was memorable for the reasons the other ones were. Like, they weren't dancing or anything, but Jay Curley and Ozzie Martin, Jaden Curley, like, the place was fucking bananas when those two guys walked out. Like, what Andy always says, and we talk about it, the peak of capacity at Memorial Hall is right around intermission. Last amateur title fight, the last amateur fight of the night, first pro fight. That's kind of when it's the people that got there early for their early friends haven't really left because they're not there for the pros. They're still there. And the people that are coming late because they're there for their pro friends, are just about getting there. It's usually the peak capacity.
Yeah,
that fucking place was
always
nuts.
Gets just a little extra hairier around then.
Yeah.
And
I say to everybody,
there's an extra push at the decibel levels right at that amateur title fight portion of the night. Both of these guys packed the house with fans of their own, and not only did they pack them with fans, ravenous fans.
Yes. And then like other people are just fans of their style. So like if you didn't buy a ticket from Ozzy or Jaden, you're still there and you're like, I want to watch this fight.
Yeah. Both of those guys have explosivity just compacted in their resumes.
Yeah.
Jay Curley with the wrestling and the power, and Ozzy with the chin, the slick head movement, and the fast hands. It was insane, the tension in the build up to that fight.
I say it every time. Yeah. So when we recap after the events, there's always about 20 to 30 minutes that I'm on edge. And I don't really get on edge, so I use that term lately. But that's that point in time where we're at our max, and that building's about to bust at its seam. It's like, so we're like, that's always my stress point. And I always like, I'm just going around being like, if we can get through these 20 minutes, like we're just busting at the seams and busting with like.
He's not a man of prayer except for those 20 minutes.
I'm just like, and then it's also going around kind of keeping everybody calm that works at Memorial Hall, because they're fucking doing, like, I was just there this weekend stopping by to get something, and they have Vienna Boy Choir. Next week they got the Little Mermen, like a Disney tribute band. Like, they're not fucking used to cage fighting. So I'm walking around being like, guys, just give me this 20 minutes. Like, go sit in your office for 20 minutes and like, don't stand out here for me because like you're gonna fucking.
You're not gonna like what you're.
Like, you're not gonna like what you see. Just go in your up. That 20 minutes is always the craziest.
Oh, you don't want to come in here.
Like, don't come.
Get your car.
Yep, just like go to the store or something. Man. Actually, X brought up a good one. Seth, on a different note, Seth Bassler with his kid on his shoulder. That place, a lot of people were going nuts for that.
Yeah, there's always some fun. There's always some
fun ones.
You don't want to come out here. Right
Don't come out here.
Just
going back to fight Joe Poirier versus Haley was definitely a banger too.
That was a scrappy fight. Yeah, that's
because that fight goes another round. Haley, that might go another way. Haley was churning it on at the end.
Poirier had the gut out and survived that third round. That was a banger.
Man. Anyways, walkout was fun. Fights.
Adrian Haley is a bad dude.
Talked about this earlier. Moment of the year. Last year, just to give you some ideas. We had the T-shirt cannon. We had, Ryan Torrance, who was the police officer who started off as a police detail for us. And always told me, I want to fight. And I'm just like, yeah, okay. How many people on fight night come up to me like, I'm going to fight one day? And I'm like, sure. And he went from a Plymouth police officer working the detail to actually fighting. Shout out to Ryan Torrance. That was moment of the year last year. This year, Barrett versus Giannetti, finally a moment of the year. All the hype, the lead up, everything, that could be a moment of the year. We mentioned some of these other things. Ty Law in the Hall, Patriots Hall of Famer. If you're, he was joking with me. He goes, at his age now, people are like, oh, you played with Tom Brady, because they forget who Ty Law is, because as you age out, people forget that you're a player. And it's like Ty Law was the lawyer Malloy and Ty Law, man, they were the shit back in the day. Yeah, he's a Patriots Hall of Famer. Like, man, Ty Law being at the Hall. If you were
that was kind of bad,
probably 35 plus, you remember the height of Ty Law.
I remember Ty Law. I'm not 35, but not that old. But
the Giannetti verse. Oh man, I forgot about that. It was a surprise press conference. Because remember, we didn't fucking announce that fight, and we just did a press conference, and that press conference was highly viewed.
Yeah, that was kind of nice.
Crazy.
I forgot about that.
That was cool.
I do remember that. Yeah.
That was cool.
It's funny, like the fight happens and all that. The bullshit.
I remember, I remember all the lead up. Like I booked Valdina versus Smythe as the co-main event, like the day before the press conference, and that was like last minute. And Smythe came on his
birthday. Just drove down on his own.
Did not talk.
He doesn't talk. He just sit there, just
nod his head.
Yeah.
He said a couple shit, like little shit talk to Valdina.
He's so quiet.
They've actually trained together. I'm pretty sure.
I'm sure they have. I didn't doubt that in the least. They're both like heads down, professionals. Not doubt.
Shout out to my boy Tom Santos watching us from the Brazil. We actually got Tom Santos coming back in January.
Oh shit!
So we'll announce that fight probably next week. Peter Barrett with the weight cutting kit. Remember he brought the enema and all that shit.
Oh my god,
that was dude.
That shit got wild.
It's gonna be hard to top that as the moment. The whole thing. Jaylen Brown, I will say that was kind of cool. I said about it earlier. Like he came earlier for Lionel, and he became a fan of Cage Titans, and he came back on his own on a random night. Like he gave up the highest. And actually, the 2 days after he was at Cage Titans for the Lionel fight, he signed the highest contract in basketball history.
Mm-hmm.
So Jaylen Brown in the Hall, the USA chant, which has been pretty cool that we've been doing a lot at intermission. That was a cool moment. So yeah, a lot of good moments. Obviously, we know which one's going to probably win, but we're always open for more suggestions. Backpack Drive. Yeah, we got to give Mikey Backpack Drive.
Big shout out for that.
I'm going to circle back to the Backpack Drive. Well, actually, no, perfect opportunity. Thank you, Mikey, for the reminder. The Backpack Drive went so well, with the Plymouth Area Resource Center, Plymouth Resource Family Center. Plymouth Family Resource Center. Sorry. Got to say that a bunch of times. Plymouth Family Resource Center. It went so well with the Backpack Drive. I got to give a big shout out to Mikey, who kind of took the lead on that. The Backpack Drive was a huge success for back to school. We decided that over the holiday, we were going to adopt 2 families. So we have, I believe, 8 kids between the 2 families that we adopted. We have a whole wish list of presents and things that they're looking for. So in the next day or so, we're going to be releasing that out to all you guys. It's going to be real simple. We really want to help out, Plymouth, Plymouth family and the community that we're a part of down there in downtown Plymouth. So we're going to adopt those 2 families. We're going to release the kids' ages and some of their wish lists. We're going to kind of give you a couple ways to donate, where you can either pick something off their list and get it. And maybe if you buy it on Amazon, you can just Amazon it to the address that we'll give you. If you want to buy a gift and just send it to the address, fine. But I think Amazon is probably the easiest. Just pick a gift off the list, buy it on Amazon. We'll give you the address to send it to. In addition, what a lot of people did with the backpack drive, they would just Venmo like $10 or $20. And then Mikey went on a big shopping spree and kind of picked up all the things that they needed for the backpack drive. So we're going to do something like that, similar. So if you want to pick a gift off the list, we'll give it to you. You can send it to us. Or if you just want to make a small donation, we'll take all the money and any gifts that weren't purchased. We're going to take you on a shopping spree and buy that stuff, the remaining items. So we'll be releasing that in the next day too. There it is. My man X gave me Plymouth Family Resource and Development Center. There you go.
Mayor.
My man.
Xavier Cardona should be mayor.
He should be mayor. He did. I think he did for he did run for mayor or something in New Bedford.
He should be.
All right. So our last 2 awards of the year. We do have media member.
We do have media member of the year.
So Andrew Mack, MMA Island Trial by Combat. He won last year, I'm pretty sure. I'm sure he'll be up again. He runs the back room.
The Fight Dudes this year.
The Fight Dudes were cool. They're out in California. That was fun. My New England MMA News, David Burke's little brother. I didn't know that it was him. He's a little 15-year-old kid doing interviews. He was out there grinding. Chris DiCarlo's always out there grinding.
Always out there.
I don't know if they are media, so to speak, but I think it's Dream Povs. They've been doing a lot of things with Miguel. They did some things with Giannetti. They're like following him around. They do like vlogs and stuff like that. So a lot of cool things out there. Jordan Turner, MV MMA. Thanks for all the opportunities to come out and film this year. A lot of love, Cage Sides. Looking forward to next year. Look forward to having you out there. But yeah, so media members. We always love having people out there. There you go. He was New England MMA News. He's looking for a little nomination. So there you go. He threw it up there. So yeah, we got you in there, my man. I love the grind. So media member, and then our last category, events of the year.
We got 6 events.
We have 6 events.
6 nominations.
6 nominations. I mean,
63,
this one's pretty
64,
close.
65, 66, 67, or
68.
68. Which one do you want?
Which one do you want? Pick it. I saw Carter Woody saying 68. 68 was a good one.
I don't know, 66.
66, Giannetti, Valdina, and Smythe. That was another one. Man,
Parra versus Presley had 2 Fight of the Year nominations back to back in the main and co-main event. So we'll get some stiff competition.
Parra and Presley, and who was the co-main event that one?
The co-main event was Sheamus and Muse.
So back to back Fight of the Year. Yeah. That was like last year. We had that card. That was
it's just
Party Duma, Barrett Mokinani. It was like hold my beer.
Fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love violence.
Yeah,
I really do. In like a controlled setting. I don't like out of control violence, but that's why we're here. It's just so primal and awesome and fun. And we've had a year of it. And I'm just grateful to have blood spattered on a bunch of suits and
a bunch of fucking mats, man.
It's every time I'm sitting cage side, I'm living a fucking dream. It's the don't quit your dream job type deal. That's what it is. It's unbelievable. I think looking at the hall and looking at the competition that's taking place, I really feel like we're where the UFC was in like 04, 05, 06 when they were doing Pearl at the Palms and seating like 2,000 people at events. And it's like, not to say that we're going to be the next billion-dollar fight organization, but just the atmosphere. It feels like it's really hitting a stride. Like,
yeah. I mean, listen, man, I don't ever like to compare myself, people, to others or other promotions. I think that when companies have the idea, like, I'm going to be the next UFC, I'm going to be the next Bellator, that's when they lose sight of who they are and then they fall on their face. I love that comparison, and for you to say that, I appreciate that and love it, but I truly mean it in my heart. Like, you know, we're the best cage titans we can be. Like, I don't compare to anybody else besides us. I'm not comparing anything. I'm comparing, you know what I'm comparing to? Cage Titan 69. I'm comparing 69 to 68, and then I'm going to compare 70 to 69, and I'm going to compare 71 to 70. And as you know, I'm just like, how do I top that last show? Like, it's how do we raise our bar? And you know, we have a great schedule. We have all 6 events for the year. They're all announced. I guess I should
I wasn't trying to make a comparison to it. It's just growing up, watching back in those days.
Yeah.
And then seeing like the kind of fights, the amplitude of the takedowns and the crowd. That's kind of where the sizing was back then before it was mainstream. And the sport is mainstream, and Cage Titans is growing mainstream. It couldn't be more blessed to be cage side and catch all of the action that up close and personal, and the amount of incredible relationships that have been built through the years. Is just, fighters are unique people through and through, and there's a reason that they're reveled through.
Honestly, if we stayed,
and couldn't be more grateful for.
If I do shows at Plymouth Memorial Hall for the rest of my life, and nothing ever more than just Plymouth Memorial Hall, I'm fulfilled,
beyond happy.
You know, it's just like, it is what it is, and I'm happy with building. Thanks. It is hard when you start looking through the cards. It's like, damn, that's a banger. That's a banger.
Yeah.
I saw this comment. It stuck out to me. Yeah, we are Cage Titans, nothing else. I said that before. That wasn't some corny ass like marketing ploy that I just tried to come up with. I mean, I truly mean it. I mean, Big Joe and our security to our hot dog vendors and the beer makers and the fans in the crowd and your cornermen and your teammates. Like, we are all making this community what it is. No one can do it without the other. And I think that's important for me to remember and always make sure we project. Like, that fighter is no more important than that fan. That fan's no more important than the person selling the hot dog. Like, we're all a part of this ecosystem in this community that we have built. So we are Cage Titans. It's not just a tagline. But I gotta say, Cardona, he doesn't know this, but he said this, so I have to step up on it, and I got to talk about it for a second. A good little story. Cardona versus Doherty, the wildest fucking walkout, because both these guys, very similar to Jaden Curley versus Ozzie Martin. Like, both guys well over 100 tickets. Fucking banana place, title fight. Doherty is, and I love Shane, so he would probably chuckle if I said pretty boy frat kid in college with his pretty boy popped collar,
Perfect
frat
haircut.
boys, perfect haircut, the little slash in his eyebrow. Just he's the epitome of a pretty boy flat boy, and he can fucking fight. He's killing on the DJ scene. Xavier Cardona, I say this respectfully as well, you know, probably from the other side of the tracks, down in New Bedford, a little rougher of a crowd. I try to be nice about it, but a little bit rougher around the edge of the crowd.
Old gentleman as well.
He's Doherty's 22. Xavier at the time's mid to late 30s, just so far off the spectrum. And their crowds are both ends of the spectrum. And the place is just fucking on edge the whole time. And like, this is the only time we were close to kind of having a fight in the venue. So I see some shit going on upstairs in the balcony. And I just fucking sprint up there, and I go there, and sure as shit, like, you got these pretty boy college kids.
I was like, yo, look. Like, that guy's about to punch, and you, within 2 seconds, you were up.
Pretty boy college kids, these rough and tough New Bedford guys. And I was just like, guys, I don't know what the fuck's going on out here, but if I have to cancel this fight because you guys can't get your shit in order, I promise you, when I go back there to tell Xavier, and they don't even know it, but like, I was like, I'll go back there right now and tell Xavier the fight's off. I'll go right back there and tell Shane Doherty the fight's off. And if you motherfuckers want to be the reason this fight's off, go ahead, do something stupid. And then, because I went up there and I'm like, listen, I can tell what side of the crowd you're from. Do me a favor. You go over there. You stay here. I'm not fucking moving. And I'm like, we can just cancel it. Oh, it got pretty intense. And I was like, I don't care who's fucking right. And then come to find out it's Xavier's brother. And he was one of the guys. Like, this is one of these fucking college pricks fucking poured his beer over here. And I was just like, I get it. I don't care who poured on who was going to punch who. I'm like, you
punch him now.
Get on the other fucking side of the venue. The cops are like, how the fuck did you just walk in and talk to him? I'm like, well, I mean, it's simple. And I say this from the bottom of my heart. I love all of our fighters, but I love what we built at Cage Titans in Plymouth Memorial Hall. And no one's going to ruin that opportunity for us to do what we do on fight night. So it's just like, I'll walk right back. There's one other time back in like 2013 that I had to go to a fighter. And I'm like, if your crowd keeps acting like fucking fools in my building, you will never fight here again. And that's just it. We're not jeopardizing it. But yeah, man, it was fucking crazy. And so yes, Xavier, my long-windedness, it was wild. It was Shane Doherty versus Xavier Cardona in the balcony. And I was like, I'm like, you and your fucking crew, get over there.
I can't believe how fucking fast you made it up there.
Like, it was like 6 years ago, so I was a little slender back then.
It wasn't that long ago, dude. It was like 2, 3. I think.
Yeah.
It was post-pandemic.
We love you, Xavier. We'll get you a fight.
I think it was post-pandemic. And there was a beer that fell, because I remember I saw the beer that fell, and the guys were in each other's faces.
Yeah, it was
and I knew there was only one person in the building that could do anything. And you were right there. I was like, boss, you looked up, saw it, you just took off. Within 20 seconds, you were up there. I don't know how. The elevator doesn't move that fast.
No, I ran up those fucking stairs real quick, man. It was running. I was running then because I know like that could just fucking ruin the whole night.
Yeah.
And that's the last thing it was 2021, August. Yeah. August 28th, 2021. Man, it was great. But anyways, thanks for bringing me down that memory lane, Xavier. There's so many fucking memories over the years that I have like that. 69 viewers. Cage Titans 69. There we go.
There we go. It's a metaphor.
I can't wait. Man, Xavier said he wants a body, so I'm assuming that means he wants somebody January 25th. If that's the case, listen, it's always you're one of my son's favorite fighters too. He's like, yo, is that dude with the crazy lines and the beard fighting? Because he always has that like weird. He always makes like the designs in his beard. So like, my son always asks it. He's like, when's that guy fighting again? I love his beard. So Xavier, you say the word, man. You always have a home here. Perrin, we look forward to seeing you in 2025, man.
Yeah.
I know Perrin, a lot of people ask me, and he's kind of figuring out what weight class he's going to settle in at, and we're looking for it. He goes 8 days after that fight, he was married, and dude, dude, even that fight, man, that fight was wild. Doherty, this undefeated kid, and I remember we had the press conference, and Xavier comes. He's a landscaper, and just fucking shows up in his work boots. Then laughed. He's like, "Listen, kid, I'm a fucking man. I'm gonna hit you." And sure as shit, he just like went no fuck. His hands by his side, just like fucking bang. Go back and watch that fight.
You want to watch like a 1 minute war? That's a 1 minute war. It was just pop, pop, pop.
Oh man, so much fun.
And then the guillotine finish. It was no.
And they put him to sleep too.
Yeah,
it's amazing how in 24
you forget like
December we go look back and just marvel at the depth and breadth of the fight. Yeah, man. Honestly, it is. Thank you, Joe.
Yes, big thank you, Joe.
It is Joe, the man behind the curtain, the artist, Joe Leonard, who helps us out with all of our production, runs our production. So yeah, man. So there you go, man. That's our quick hour and a half. Year in review.
Hour and a half over, Jesus.
I appreciate everybody throwing in the comments what you guys think should be nominees. I gotta be honest, I came away with some fights that I didn't think of, or you didn't think of, and I'm like, oh, okay. Oh yeah, that's a great point.
And it's like this is the starting stages of it, so we'll whittle them away. And
next week we'll bust out the final nominees and the videos. Nick's got his work cut out for him working on those videos, so Nick's gonna get cracking on that. Be on the lookout. I did throw in the comments all of our dates for the year, but we'll be dropping a graphic to kind of visualize it for you guys. We did talk about adopting the family over the holidays. In the next day or two, we will be dropping a video and details on all the presents and the ages of the kids and how to get involved in that. Grab one $20 present, makes it this kid's, these kids fucking years. it doesn't take a lot, and it's something we've done in past years, and just it's really cool.
And it's always good. I know that when we do pull this off, it's always good just seeing the community step up
and
little things like that.
And listen, man, and not to wrench it, but we're a fight business and a fight community. So I love being able to do things like that to get us in the light, because maybe it's accepted today, but for many years, and when I started this in 2010, 15 years ago, we're looked at as the scum of the universe. Like, well, you barbaric, disgusting human beings that just fight. And for 15 years, I've fought to change that perception, and the sport has fought to change that perception. And, doing things like this to be involved in the community, like, walking in to this family resource center and with backpacks and, with Big Mikey, this 6'5", 350-pound mountain of a man, just walking in there and being like, you're the fight guys. And then just seeing them be like, feed off the energy that we're giving to them and how much we want to be a part. It's breaking down walls and stigmas of like, oh, you guys are just barbaric people who lust for blood. Though we do lust for blood.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a big part of it. We're very barbaric creatures with a lust for blood, and that is 100% true. But we're people too.
Yeah,
and we care. It's just
so we'll be getting that out in the next few days. We did drop tickets today. Shout out to TicketTree, our official ticket. Big body Mikey, our official ticket partner for all of 2025. Great company. They're doing a lot of big things. They're really trying to disrupt the ticket industry by giving great experience to fans. And they launched within the last year, and we're one of their first big companies to be on their platform, and we're excited to help them grow and grow along with them and see what they bring to the table. So shout out to TicketTree. You can go to CageTimesFC.com, click ticket link, and bring you right to their website. And
US.
There you go. Get your tickets for CageTime69. Get those underneath the tree. I got more matchups, but I've been on too long, so we're gonna have to wait till next week to talk about matchups.
We got plenty of time to spill some beans. We got some awards to get to in the weeks coming, but yeah, that's a year in review for the most part. It's been something.
You know what? Fuck this. No, I'm not gonna give a fight. I actually just thought about it because I saw Big Mikey, Big Body in the comments. So Big Mikey is getting married next Saturday.
All right, there we go.
Next Saturday. No, we are doing physical tickets. Willie? We are doing physical tickets, but our online ticket provider is going to be those guys. All right, so here you go. Big Mikey's getting married. This guy has been at every Cage Titans probably for fucking 10 or 12 years. The biggest Cage Titans fan there is, front row every time. And he would do anything for us in our community. He buys your T-shirts. He fucking buys your tickets from you guys. This guy would buy tickets from fighters just to give them credit so they would get a percentage. And then he would show up and set up the cage, and I would be like, oh, I'll give you some tickets because you came and helped set up the cage. Be like, oh, I already bought them because I want to make sure fighters get credit. This guy's done a lot for the community. He's become such a integral part of Cage Titans. He's getting married next Saturday.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Next Saturday, the 21st.
Yes.
But hear me out. Here's where I'm going with it. This upcoming Saturday, December 14th, we are going to take him out for the night of his life. When I say we, I'm talking to you on this camera. Anybody that's watching, I don't care who the fuck you are. If you're a part of the Cage Titans family, come on down to Coops, 8 o'clock on Saturday. We're going to meet here, and we're going to have a couple drinks here at Coops at 8 o'clock, and then we're going to go to some undisclosed locations. I would love to see anybody and everybody that can come out that's part of the Cage Titans community. I know how much it would mean to him and how to see you guys. And like I said, he's cheered for you. He's booed you. He's bought you shirts. He's bought tickets from you.
Saturday the 14th.
This upcoming Saturday. This Saturday, be at Coops at 8 o'clock or at some point. Even if you stop in for one drink or you buy a fucking mozzarella stick and have a couple appetizers or something. this upcoming
Big Mike
Saturday.
is getting hitched.
He's getting married.
Congratulations, Big Mike and Becca. Love you guys. Can't wait for that. But Saturday's for the boys.
Saturday,
all right?
boys or
Saturday's for
girls,
the boys.
whatever, man. Listen, we're equal opportunists,
Yes.
but we'd love to see you come out. We're gonna we got a few group of us. We're gonna meet here at Coops. We're gonna have a couple drinks, have some food, and then we're gonna go get into some shenanigans in Boston. So if you want to come, message me, shoot me a DM, and or just show up to Coops. Like, that's it. Like, it's simple, man. Like, it's gonna be a good time. And like I said, he's booed you, he's cheered you, he's bought you a shirt, he's bought you beers. And like, you know, this kid's been there for everybody, and I'd love to give him this great night out. You know, and we're gonna have some fun. So it's just come out. Listen, man, if you can only, I know Christmas time, money's tight for people, whatever the case may be, come out and buy one beer. I don't fucking care. Or because it's at Coops, I'll probably buy you your beer and his anyway. So just come out, have a good time, and let's see some fun faces out this Saturday night, because I think it'd be a lot of fun. So I'm testing you guys.
Go.
I'm testing
Here we go.
you. Let's see who's gonna come
Two
out.
steps through, but yeah, I'm stoked for this weekend. I'm stoked for the new year.
Or hit me up and see where we are on the route after we leave here as well.
Yeah. Don't hit him up. Hit me up because he's probably gonna be driving, which is bad enough as it is. So
I can drive and text at the same time.
yeah, it's gonna be a rowdy night. That's all I know. But I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. But anyways, just come by. It's Coops. It's in Quincy. It's centrally located. It's not all the way down in Plymouth. You come on out, hang out, and you know, that's it. So that's what I got. That's my big thing I got for you this weekend.
Yeah, that's nothing to add. I'm a little tired. Well, then have it fire to yourself.
Yeah.
All right.
And fighters, if you're fighting on the card, I know you can't go too wild. Just come out and have a water. Yeah.
Give Big Mike a hug and a congrats, and then who knows where the night will take us. I have an idea, but
I have an idea.
I definitely have an idea. It's a bachelor party. All right, just do the math. All right, take it easy, everybody.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
Cheers. We'll see you all. Thanks for a great year in 2024. Nothing but the deepest outpouring of gratitude for every fighter, fan, crew member. Just every all the pieces matter. So just heart is full. Another great year down the hatch. Can't echo anything more. But all right, there we go. We'll talk to you later.
Later. Boom. Peace.
The party continues. The party's the best. Undefeated in New England. Come get me. This is my house. My house.
Stayed on me here, I took it from 0 to flame. Saying I read it for miles. The shit was in luck, they got me fucked up. I put you on bus and take you around. A couple of guys inside of the school, I gave them the tools to get it off ground. They say they're the ones when they make the airs, can't look in the mirror. That shit wild. Stand on the stage, I give them the rage. I'm turning it down, can't can't follow it. Doing the streets, we do it for keys, we do it for rights. I'm 52 weeks, the shit ain't for pleasure. I'm coming to tweak, the shit is for everything. Hey, we got it and wrap it and write it and wrap it and write it.